Yay! Welcome, everybody. We're back. Took the summer off. I get to sit here with, well, not here, but with Jen Cook from where she now lives. She's here today joining us to talk about empowerment and power, sort of power versus force, right?
Absolutely.
Jen's a big inspiration to me and to many, many folks who she blesses with her expertise, her training, her charm, her sense of humor, her everything. She's just a delight. And I really wanted to bring you on today. Actually, this is take two. Had a little mishap yesterday. So welcome to the show. I'm so happy to have you here with us today. I wanted to talk to you about, well, I really wanted to hear you, like we talked about yesterday, talk about the power of, it sounds so weird, like powerlifting, the power of lifting, and what happens when we use our power in that way.
Right.
I'm very late to the party, and I'm psyched that I've got my party dress finally on. I know that you've been at this for a long time. Tell us about what drew you and how you stay and or take breaks, like we talked about yesterday.
All of those, all of the above. So, really it was probably about 8 years ago or so that I finally had enough of myself in terms of my inability to be able to take control of my health and my physical well-being. At that point, I had done some extensive work and continue to do that work even today on the insides. And, I'd gotten to the point where I'm like, okay, so I'm making some good progress here, but clearly there are other aspects of this that I need to address as well, because we're not just spiritual beings, although that's wonderful. However, we're physical beings as well. So, I literally, I had a friend at the gym. I had kind of half-hearted started yet again for the millionth time. And she invited me to go to her. She was doing a bodybuilding show in New York City. I went and was blown away. I just was beyond, I couldn't believe that somebody could do that, and how beautiful it was, and how amazing she looked, and how strong. And I took so much from that when I left the show, I started talking to some folks in my gym, and literally I went from the couch as a potato to hiring a competition coach, and literally stepped foot on a bodybuilding stage 4 months later. And I don't recommend that time frame necessarily to most folks, especially those that were like me at that time, that were really not. I wasn't terribly fit.
Amazing.
But holy cow, I had some serious drive and desire. And when I was able to do that, and I not only met that goal, but then I exceeded it because I did another show a month later. The empowerment that I found through that was just the most powerful thing that I had felt in a really long time. So that really just kind of kicked off my health and wellness journey as it pertains to just being, I was blessed. I was a personal trainer for a number of years where I recently lived. I'll probably do that again, but right now I'm more on a focus on me mode. As you mentioned, I had made a pretty major move here in the last 3 months.
So courageous.
So there's that.
Yeah. So I loved when you said, it was just so mind-blowingly, like I heard you saying between the lines, maybe, but it sounds like this is real and true for you, how empowering it was. What did that teach you about yourself? What is like the most, what stands out to you? What did you learn about yourself?
That I am not powerless, that I can be powerful. And I don't mean that in any respect of, the physical. The outside package is wonderful. That is such an amazing byproduct of, lifting weights and being active. But what it really boiled down to for me was that empowerment within myself to know that I can do this.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. I so identify with that, and so in such on cellular level. Speak to us, Jen, about, we talked about this yesterday because it taps into something I think really there's so much deep healing here, I think, for us as women. We talked about body image, body aging, or body image, body stuff, whatever that is, self-worth.
Mm,
I don't even know where I'm going with this. There's it, but it touches so deep inside of us, this well of power, this
correct.
well of inherent worth. Our worth is never even a question. However, I never saw it that way. For a lot
Correct.
of my life, I thought I had to earn my worth or prove my worth, right?
Right. So did I.
Not so. So I really had to re-educate, right? So talk to us a little bit about that. I'm not even sure where the question is, but I know that you know what I'm talking about.
It,
Does that make sense for us women, especially women, because we're women,
right.
identify as a woman. So whatever you get from that, I think our viewers would love to hear how, because I just thought, oh, it's just weights. It's not weights. And it's really not about what's happening. I love what's happening with my body. I love the power. I love being able to do things for myself and lift things and go, oh my God, that's nothing anymore. That's so light. But it's more about the inside strength and the perseverance and knowing there's something about, wow, I didn't know I could do it. It gets me really emotional. I didn't know I could do that. And now I do. And somebody also, I work very much in community. I'm blessed I just adore my trainer. She is just, she sees what I can do.
Hmm.
I don't see that, and left to my own devices, if I were to go to the gym, I always gave up. So there's also something about having that community, that companionship that she's turned into a friend.
Right.
Can you speak to us about, I know it was a lot, but is there something that stands out? Because you're the professional.
Absolutely. For me, what it really, and you touched upon it to a certain degree, as we age. Now I'm 53 years young. And for
Mhm.
me, what started to happen was I saw benefits beyond the exterior and the interior as well, because what started to happen is I recognized that as I continued to follow this fitness path,
Mm.
that uh, my body wasn't aging like my peers. And
Mm.
it is a known fact, and certainly I am no medical individual, but it is a known fact that when you work out, when you lift weights, as we age, we lose bone mass
Mm.
and we lose muscle mass, and all of these things are critical in terms of taking care of the machine that is our human body.
Mm.
And as you work out, you have the ability to be able to not only, you know, rebuild some of that muscle, and also either stop the bone loss to a certain degree. It never stops, but you can arrest it to a certain point, and you can also build those, that muscle, or excuse me, that bone mass back up to a certain degree,
Mm.
which people don't understand that benefit. But believe me, as we continue to age, that becomes even more and more of a real concern, or it should
Yeah.
be.
Right.
Uh, I don't, I love my parents and their generation. However, I don't want to age like they did. And it is no disservice to them. They knew what they knew and they did what they did, and they,
Right.
all
Right.
of that stuff. But we
Right.
have so much knowledge available to us now. We'd be
Mm.
remiss if we didn't try to at
Mm.
least, kind of follow this path.
Hmm. I love what you said, because they knew what they knew, they did what they did, and we are so blessed to have so much more biohacking information now, so much more literally education experience, there's this is science backed, right? So, and we
Correct.
don't have to get into all that, but the one thing that I was kind of, we talked about this yesterday. One of the side benefits that I had no idea that I would enjoy are two things, and I wonder if you resonate with this. On leg day, especially leg day. Now I know what leg day means, which I love.
Baby
uh,
grab mode.
Pit shark, right? Hashtag pit shark. There's a sleep that happens. There's a tired, not an exhaustion, and it's not a
Right.
fatigue. There's a sleep that comes that I can't even articulate what it means to me. And I'm, knock on wood, I'm a fairly great, thank God, always been a good sleeper. There's
Mhm.
something, and I do a lot to rest my body because there's a big difference between sleep and rest. I do a lot to relax, right? But there's
Right.
something about the sleep that happens. But also, Jen, do you notice that there's something so grounding about lifting? We talked about that yesterday. There's this, and there's also what happens, the nutritional component of what I'm drawn to eat to assist in a whole new intuitive way. That's
Right.
mind blowing. So I know there's a lot there, but speak to what you've noticed. Does that ring true to you as well?
It does. And I find for me, when I am in a mindset of being a part of my fitness goals, that it becomes all encompassing to the degree that, maybe my food choices get a little healthier, and perhaps my prioritizing of my time changes a bit because I ensure that I have that period set aside to go work out.
Mm-hmm.
Because the what happens for me is I have inherently an incredibly lazy side, believe it or not. And if I don't set those goals, and if I don't say, okay, this week my goal is XYZ, and we're not talking huge, we're not talking about getting on a stage, as a bodybuilder, but just get in the gym 3 days a week or 4 days a week, or change that choice of food that I'm about to partake in. And I'm not always great at it, but I do have the knowledge base and the understanding of what the outcome will be. The outcome will be I'll feel so much better. And as you said, I will sleep so much better. And also too, what happens when I get in the gym, it's just me,
Mm-hmm.
the weights.
Mm-hmm.
And I liken it almost to a form of meditation, because when I am
Mm-hmm.
doing what I do,
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing else. It's just me and those weights.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so, to a degree, it's incredibly healing. It's
Mm-hmm.
also incredibly grounding, as you said.
Yeah.
And to be able to shut off the world, because clearly we live in a world right now, and have for a while, that's not
Not
peaceful
sustainable.
and serene. Mhm.
Yeah. Right.
I get to do those things, and it is just,
Yeah.
I find a lot of peace in that.
Yeah. Yeah. I really hear you. Tell me about, talk to us about trauma informed practices. Like, I'm a trauma nerd. I study it. I have certificates. It's my thing. It's in my private practice. It's what we do. It's what I do. Part of it
Right.
with mostly a lot of early childhood stuff, right? It's
Hmm.
certainly my background. I
Right.
have found, and I'm wondering if you could speak to, I have found so much safety at the
Yes.
gym, which is funny because I did not see that coming. It's like a
Mm-mm.
secondary gain. I think there's an internal safety. I also think I'm learning, much more about external safety. Can you speak to us about that? Does that resonate?
That resonates so much with me,
Yeah.
because I have a very long trauma history myself.
Mhm.
And to a degree, there's a large part of it that was self-inflicted due to self-medication with drugs and alcohol.
Right.
Uh, but there was also situations and relationships that I put myself into that were incredibly trauma based and
Right.
unsafe. you
Right.
know so with me, certainly feeling strong physically is
Mhm.
incredibly empowering. However, it is almost more important to me that I have an inner strength
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
comes not only with, I've done a lot of work, as I said before, and continue to
Yeah.
do so, you
Yeah.
know but it
Yeah.
is that's inner strength. I feel safe today.
Yeah.
There was such a long period of time in my life where I didn't feel physically
Right.
or emotionally safe. I feel safe today. And I attribute that a lot to the ability to be able to do what I do, as it pertains to my health
Mm.
and working out, and being part of a solution.
Mm. Fabulous. Yeah, I so get that. Every word.
Yeah.
Every word. Yeah, there's just, it's like, oh my God, if it's so funny. What's striking me is like, this, I remember, and it's so funny. I was in the gym yesterday and I saw the word, the Nautilus. And
Mhm.
I remember going, I grew up in South Salem and we did a lot in Canaan, right in New Canaan,
Mhm.
Connecticut, right over the line. And there was a gym there. And I remember joining the gym. And I was so lost and so bereft at that time. I didn't have any direction. I had no focus. There's a lot of like wounded masculine about that. I had no stability. I had
Right.
no security. I had no focus. I had no direction. I thought I did. And so I tried it and I couldn't stick with it because I didn't have I didn't have any platform literally of safety inside of myself or the ability to ask for help. Right.
Huge.
So,
Those are
it's
huge pieces.
right. So, and again, alcohol and drugs, right? For me, huge,
Mhm.
traumatic, and so many other things.
Right.
So, what I found, and I'm wondering if you relate to this, healing my wounded masculine inside and my feminine, left side feminine, right side masculine, right? So
Right.
healing, it's been so healing because it is so grounded. I am so focused. I am so goal oriented,
Mhm.
productive, stable. It's so stabilizing. I
Right.
mean, the benefits are so beyond. This is why I wanted to have you come on, to kind of give women like, there's so much more than 20-pound dumbbell, like so much more is
Exactly.
happening. There's so much more
Yes.
happening. And
Yes.
it's just, it's such a holistic practice. And I feel so grateful to have been led to this again. Like everything in my body just said, girl, you have got to get your ass in that gym.
Do it.
And I'm so grateful I listened because everything, I don't know, I'm not going to even finish that sentence because I don't know where I was going with that. But tell me what you think about that. Not even
I
sure what it was that I said.
Right. No, all of that I can absolutely relate to and feel very aligned with as it pertains to those feelings. As I stated previously, I became a personal trainer for a number of years, and the ability to be able to help others and to have women, you know, allow me to work with them and get them to the point that you were just describing and beyond, and having them say to me, oh, Jen, I can't do that, that's too much, or I've never been able to do that. And then work them up to the point where not only can they do that, but then they can do even more,
Right.
and the look on their faces, and that light turns on,
Yeah.
and the joy that you
Yeah.
see in
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
it
Aw.
is it is unbelievable, because that was me. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, everybody else can do this, I can't. No, I
Right.
can't. This looks great, I would love to, but I can't.
Right.
And if we just take that word can't and change it to try, just try.
Yeah.
And if you can't, readjust and
Right.
and, and do it a
Right.
little differently
Right.
you
Right.
know
Right. Right. Is that your favorite part? I was going to say, is that your favorite part of working with people? I heard, I mean, you were
Absolutely.
beaming with joy on that.
Yeah, that is hands down my most favorite part, because these people trust you. and that trust is humbling, and it is, it's overwhelming too, because there's a part of you that's like, oh my goodness, I don't want to fail them, I want them to be successful, and I want to do everything that I can to help them, be able to feel the way that I feel, and learn what I've learned, and
Mhm.
do the things that they never thought were possible. Because I know that like I said, spent too many years in that state of denial of I can't, and the joy in the ability to help others is just, it's a
Mm,
blessing
mm,
beyond.
mm. That's gorgeous. All right,
Yeah.
last question. Thank you for that, Jen. Thank you. Oh, so inspiring. Gosh, I admire you. I always admired
I
your
admire
your
you.
path. I've known you for a long time. Um, and I know that you don't quit, and I know that you don't give up. I know that you don't. And I know that that's a large part of who you are inherently as a woman, as a powerhouse, right? With superpowers. What would you tell any viewers when they want to give up, when they want to quit?
What I would tell them is we all know what it feels like to quit. Why don't we try something new and see what it feels like to succeed?
Mm,
That's what I would tell them.
mm, beautiful. Wow. And what would you tell somebody that wants to get into the gym, maybe, or start to do weight training, resistance training? How would you tell them to start? Would a trainer be a great pathway for that?
A trainer is an amazing pathway for that. However, I understand that it can be cost restrictive to a lot of people.
Mhm.
So what I tell people is, you know, if they've initially joined a gym, they always have personal trainers, and most gyms will give you a free session with a personal trainer. Learn
Mm.
everything you can from them. Ask all the questions. If they're not writing down a workout for you, write it
Right,
down. You
right.
know, they typically will let you come back to them in a period of time, approach them and just say, listen, I've done this for a while and it's, you know, I'm seeing results. Now what? Ultimately, the best is to have someone hands-on. And if you even have a girlfriend or you know, a boyfriend, spouse for that matter, you
Right,
know, that knows how to do this safely, you know,
right.
approach someone, ask questions. The internet is fraught with a lot of amazing misinformed individuals. But in
Oh, I'm
in
glad you
the
said that. Okay,
well
so be
in
real
the
careful
be
about who's
careful.
teaching you. Okay.
Be careful. You know, I can't tell you the countless times that people have come to me and they're like, oh, I started working with, you know, so and so, or I did you know, I got online and I found out I should only be eating 1,000 calories a day, and I'm losing my mind, you know, when I hear something like that. Because if you
Mm,
know even an iota of, you know, being healthy and wellness and fitness,
it's not
that's
about
damn.
restriction. Yeah, yeah.
Do your
Especially if
research.
you're lifting. Oof.
Absolutely. Holy cow.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
that's great. Great information. What about a buddy? Like a gym buddy?
Oh my God, gym buddies are great. And especially if you need someone to hold you accountable. And the beautiful part about that is you get to hold them accountable as well. And I
Mm,
can't tell you the countless amount of times that I've spoken with people that they're like, I have a gym buddy. We set a date. If I don't feel like going and not showing up, I feel badly because they're going to be there and vice versa. And
right.
I think that's huge. I
Yeah,
also really believe too that if you can, people are more motivated if they've got what we like to call skin in the game. If
right.
you put skin in the game, and what that means is hiring a personal trainer or
Yes.
joining a gym or
Investment.
some investment in
Mhm,
yourself, that you're going to
mhm,
stop and say, okay, I have made this commitment
mhm,
financially, emotionally, physically. I have skin in the game. I've got
mhm,
to do this. You know,
mhm, mhm. Yeah, it
that's
makes sense.
mm-hmm.
Makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense. Okay, your time is precious, and I value your time on the beach. Totally jelly. Totes jelly. Um,
Oh, you're not going to be jelly next week when our weather event
oh,
comes up
you
through.
said I'm gonna hold
Yeah.
hefty prayer and sunlight.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
last question. I don't know if I asked the last question, but one more. Do you have time for one more?
Absolutely.
What are the three top benefits for somebody who may have no clue about this, or people who maybe are coming across this like, oh, I forgot about that. I'm getting my butt to the gym. Like, what would you say the top three would be?
Wow. Wow.
Mm,
You know, for me personally, the top three is self-confidence,
yeah. Yes.
empowerment,
Mhm.
and the ability to do hard things.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that got me. Yeah, that got
Yeah.
me. Besides, you look sexy as fuck. So
That
just
doesn't
saying,
suck.
just saying, queen. You look sexy as fuck. as they say.
We'll take it. We'll take it.
What a great note to end on. Jen,
Wow.
you are a blessing to everyone who meets you. Thank
you.
you so much for your patience from yesterday
Thank
and
you.
being so generous with your time today from the beach. And I just adore you and love you and admire you. So
Thank you. And all the same
please,
back to you.
thank you. Please be well and safe. And I'll send you guys prayers down there.
Thank
And
you.
we'll talk soon. I'd love to have you come on and re talk about some of this stuff eventually. Thank you. Thank you.
I would love that.
Great.
Yes.
All right. Take care.
Thank
Thanks
you.
everybody for joining us today. Bye.
Bye.